What up, Hyperchain? Are back. So sorry about that mix up with the live stream. Wanted to go live. This is, I hope my video connection is a lot better because I'm trying to improve it with different quality. I got literally at the highest elevation I could on the rooftop to make sure this is interrupted, to make sure the service is awesome. We got the little space needle right there. And so let's get into it. I'm just waiting for a couple people to join since I had to abandon the last stream. But the story of this is basically, I was just invited to go on CNBC to talk about Tesla and why retail investors seemingly understood the story better than, Wall Street analysts. This is something that Chamath was just on CNBC talking about. And I was on the phone with my buddy Matt Joyce, preparing for the CNBC interview. And then of course I get the email that's like, yo, you're not going to come on, Tesla stock is going down more than we thought, so we're changing our plans and we don't want to talk about Tesla. A near-term stock move, cancel my interview at the last second. Super bummed because I was preparing for it. And honestly, this has happened a couple times on CNBC where they cancel at the last minute and it just sucks. So I wanted to stream anyway and I had ideas and I wanted to talk to you anyway. So I just figured let's hop on and do a change. We've got a couple hundred people in, so let's just do this. So why were Wall Street analysts, why are the smartest people in the room failing to understand and get Tesla, what is amounting to be the most disruptive company of this decade, probably the most values created in terms of market capitalization other than some of the world's largest tech companies. I mean, now one of the top most valued public companies in the world. How has this happened? How did everyone in Wall Street miss this? I think there's a very simple answer. And so my big thing is Wall Street is not able to think outside of the box. I went to business school, NYU, was really frustrated. I was investing before I went to business school in college, but in college there's this mentality of if you don't build a DCF, that's not a valid investment thesis. And people will go so hard and banks do these really complicated Excel spreadsheets. That's what all of Wall Street runs on. That's what every investment bank does. That's what they hire equity analysts to do. And then they have these spreadsheets and they're putting in their financials from 3 months ago. The entire way that Wall Street works is you analyze companies based on financials that happen. Tesla just reported its financials from the end of March through the end of June. And so that already happened. We're in July. The stock market is the intrinsic value of the net present value of future cash flows. It's all about forward looking. It's ahead to be worth more than Toyota. Why Tesla's the most valuable car company in the world, yet they don't sell the most cars. It's all about this future growth trajectory. And it's about them having a different business model. So if you're a Wall Street analyst, I remember way back in 2012, 2013, when the Tesla was selling the Model S, and they were saying we're going to sell 20,000 units in 2013. They ended up pretty much hitting that number, which was insane. But the Wall Street analysts were like, this is impossible because luxury sedans only sell, 40 or 50,000 units in the US. No company has enough market share to sell 20,000 units. It's literally impossible for Tesla to do that because no company would have done that. They have these boxes and rules, and then Tesla comes out and the Model S gets the most market share of any sedan, luxury sedan, including the internal combustion engine cars and electric cars. So it's they're always looking in the rear view mirror, never looking ahead of time. My investment research, this is a Peter Lynch stock. This is a, talk to the customers. Every person you would have ever talked to who owned a Tesla is like, I love this car. I'm never going back. I don't like to shout out Wall Street analysts, but shout out to Matt Joyce, who was talking to me about Alex Potter, who's the one Wall Street analyst who's been very bullish on this. What is the clue here? He owns a Model X, and he has the Tesla product, and he's never switching back. And he's like, this is a game changer in the future. He gets it. It's not that complicated if you just own the product and did your, simple due diligence research instead of looking at a spreadsheet. Yet the problem is Wall Street was looking at these spreadsheets of oh, Tesla's investing so much in growth that they're losing money. This company must have no value. Yet without thinking of wait, why are they spending all this money on software? Maybe they're charging $8,000 in software per car. That goes up to $20,000. The entire gross margin economics of Tesla are going to flip on their head. It was thought of as impossible for a car company to be able to post an operating margin, higher than 10% or 5% if they were selling to the mass market. Only luxury car companies can do that. If Tesla's going to go down market and sell the Model 3 at $40,000, there's no way they can make, 5 to 10% operating margins while growing this quickly. Well, they have. And so, and then when you unpeel the layers of vertical integration, Tesla building the electric skateboard, far less parts, starting from scratch on the machine that builds the machine, the factory where nothing has been innovated for 50 years. Software is eating the world. Software had not eaten the automotive world yet. And so I think And the biggest thing about Tesla here is that this is not just a car company. Toyota makes cars. Okay, great. Tesla makes the cars. They also makes the products that produce the energy for those cars. They also make the products that produce that store the energy for those cars, the solar panels and the batteries. So think about the market cap of Saudi Aramco. Think about why Nikola Trevor Milton has learned the Tesla business model and is saying, we're going to make $1 million on every truck because we sell the energy. You buy a $50,000 car, you're signing up to buy oil, or if it's a nice car, you're signing up to buy oil for another decade. This is a razor blade-esque model, and the car companies aren't getting that value. Tesla's in a position to capture all of this value of not only the energy being consumed in vehicles, but the energy being created for vehicles, which is probably just as big or even bigger of a market. I mean, Saudi Aramco IPO'd $2 trillion, getting a PE of like 6 because their business is, oil, not the future. And so you think about Tesla, the ability if you're supplying the energy for the transportation markets, you're on the cusp of doing, I do think Nikola is totally vaporware. I appreciate that comment. But I just, this analogy of like, the whole energy equation. How is Tesla worth more than Toyota? Well, does Toyota have their own insurance arm in-house? Do they have their own full self-driving division in-house? Do they, how many parts are they outsourcing? Tesla's vertically integrated. So if you started to bring in the market cap of Bosch, the suppliers of Mobileye, they're the world's leading self-driving startup, the world's leading AI insurance startup, the world's leading FSD chip building startup, the world's leading battery a chemistry startup, world leading battery production equipment startup. I mean, this is 12 startups in one. And, this is like Amazon. It was an online bookstore. Apple was just a computer. Well, they're dramatic industry changing things, and rules are meant to be broken. Every business is a case study. Just because we've never seen a case study unfold like this, we've never seen a car company sell this many millions of cars and be this profitable, doesn't mean it can't happen. And that's the problem in the reverse psychology. Look in the rear mirror at financials that makes it so hard for Wall Street to adequately value innovation. Why do you think Cathie Wood is dominating and ARK Invest is crushing everybody? Because they came in with the thesis that innovation is drastically underpriced in all of the public markets. Tesla could not have proved that any more strongly in that 5 years when they were innovating like crazy, and anyone who you talked to who had the car said this was totally the future and it changed the world. I mean, so look at Tesla's customer satisfaction score relative to every other automaker. Talk to anyone who owns a Tesla. You'll start to understand this. And so when I think about the addressable market opportunity of Tesla, let's talk about the valuation really quick. Why am I not selling my shares? I own 160 shares, my life savings in Tesla. I'm up like 5 or 6x on my investment. Why am I not selling? Because my thesis is this is $1 trillion company. The bigger the problem, the bigger the opportunity. Transport, trillion. Energy, another trillion. Full self-driving, if they can pull that off, then I don't know, we might get another trillion. So, all right, I take a breather. You guys happy? And so, this concept that every other car company is not comparable to Tesla because they're not selling the equipment and the supplies or the services to get the energy for those vehicles is a massive miss. And so Tesla's many, many businesses in one beyond just a car company. I mean, how many car OEMs are successful at sedans, luxury, and about to be semi-trucks, and about to be pickup trucks? I mean, no, we've never seen this. And the reason why Tesla is able to do this innovation, you're like, this is too good to be true. Why is this happening? Well, there has been almost 100 years since the Model T, like very iterative, incremental innovation that is frankly asymptotically slowed like crazy during the past couple decades in the transportation sector. And so we've had all this new technology come out, all this new, anyway, yeah. And it just makes sense to go to the drawing board and totally change the way we get around. And so, yes, I am in Seattle, Space Needle. And, yeah, so, I'm trying to think where else I can go with this. Humans and society need energy. Okay, so let me finish that point. So innovation in the automotive market slows dramatically, correct? Well, now you have Tesla come in and they're like, okay, well, not the internal combustion engine that everyone's so good at is irrelevant. We need to build this totally new skateboard technology, like a new propulsion system. Like, I don't know if any of you are UFO enthusiasts, but let's say a UFO is like right there and it's moving around and we're like, how is it doing that? We don't have the propulsion technology to do that. So that's kind of like what Tesla is ushering in, is this wildly alien-esque new propulsion technology that is an entirely different system to propel humans and cargo around Earth that has never been as efficient or practical or cheap to actually work. And so now this is radically new platform shift in the propulsion technology of humanity that is Tesla's been working on for a decade. J.B. Straubel gluing these little batteries together in his garage 15 years ago, everyone thought was a joke, turned out to be the key years head start that have given Tesla this massive edge, which is now them pushing forward on the biggest constraint of their business, battery capacity, to sell millions of electric vehicles per year. I mean, this is technology that you need that will go into cars, trucks, boats, planes, you know. I almost wanted to drop my next moonshot, but I'm not. And motorcycle, anything that moves in all of society, people or stuff, it should be powered by the electric drivetrain, not the internal combustion engine. Go around, look how many things still have the internal combustion engine in them. And you know, you think about the value of that technology Tesla's developed and how this cadence of monetization will play out as the cost curve comes down. I mean, we are just in the beginning, in the infancy of Tesla's battery technology, reaching the key, you know, economic inflection point of cost, production, efficiency to be able to disrupt so many different verticals in the transportation industry that, you know, this is why Tesla just went 0 to 1 with the Model 3 production line, because they showed they could make killer cash flow. Not only they showed the product work, people love it, but this cash flow is savage too. And this is only with Model 3 at scale. Let's say we get Model Y at scale, Semi at scale, Cybertruck at scale, Solar Roof at scale, you know, Powerwall, Powerpack at scale, Megapack at scale. It's easy to see how Tesla has a path to 100 billion plus in revenue with their new product roadmap, you know, getting that run rate in, I don't know, 24 months. And so now let's talk about the valuation of this. We're looking at a company that's worth 300 billion or so right now. Let's call that in dilution. Well, okay, so this year they're probably going to be about 32 billion in revenue. 8 or 10 times sale for a car company, like, seems insane. But when you think about, you know, Elon Musk thinks can go up 40 to 50% per year compounded. They have shown a growth rate like that in the past. I mean, I think the growth is worth a premium. Additionally, when you factor that they're more profitable than every other automaker in the world and could be, you know, mid-teens operating margin. This was, first of all, the other thing that I'm probably gonna make a whole video about is how they let it slip, finally admitted that the Model Y is gonna have more gross margin than the Model 3 percentage-wise. If you back into what Kirkhorn said on the call about the cost being the same, but the Model Y, they're charging a little more for it, higher gross margin on the Model Y as well. That's another tidbit. But, you know, 10 times sales for this company that's already doing $1 billion in cash flow, you know, it's all about not what's happening today, about where this is going. But I do think Tesla being able to do, you know, a 4 or 5 billion annually operating cash flow run rate is extremely, you know, impressive and savage for this moment in the growth. And like I said, like, I think we're just so early in disrupting so many verticals. Is it easy to see how that operating cash flow last run rate goes from 5 billion to 10 billion to 15 billion? Yeah, extremely easily. And so, you know, 100 billion in revenue with a mid-teens operating margin of 15% is 15 billion in earnings. You know, but then it's like, okay, well, we're paying a 20 times earnings ratio for 2 years mature earnings. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of just thinking through this out loud because there's so many different ways to value a company. But the reason why I'm holding it is I still think this is a $1 trillion company. Like, I think genuinely Tesla's going to change the world. They're going to sell millions of cars. They're going to also execute on this energy game plan. That's already kind of a $1 billion business, work the tech that's soon going to be a $10 billion revenue run rate business. And, you know, I see this growth story just unfolding for decades and decades and continuing. And so that's why I'm not selling. And I think, okay, maybe it's overvalued for 2 years in a row. You know, it took Tesla went from $30 a share to like 200 or something. Ridiculous in 2013. It was way overvalued. It consolidated for like 5 years and then started radically, you know, booming. And so it's basically like, okay, stock goes way up. Fundamentals backfill into the valuation. And then we have this inflection point at the end of last year where it was like, okay, you know, we've seen a 10x price sales multiple contraction in Tesla. They've 10x the revenue. The stock is flat. I mean, the multiples have compressed too much. And so now we've had this next massive wave of massive multiple expansion. And so I think it's going to take Tesla some years to execute and backfill into that valuation. But do I want to sell and risk not being on board for that? I mean, look at Shopify stock. I think there is massive inflation in the economy right now, way more than anyone is reporting, or that these traditional inflation numbers say. Look at the prices of good technology companies' equity value. Look at Shopify, look at Amazon, look at Tesla. People do not want to own cash that's being diluted. They want to own assets. They want to own equity in technology companies. I mean, this to me makes perfect sense. Where do I want my, you know, money is currency is value, like the ability to store value over time. And you want to, store, if you're working so hard to create this value, you want to store that value in somewhere that's going to work for you, and something that's going to grow, it's going to be awesome, that's exciting. So when I think about me putting in all my value and putting in all my work, where do I want to put that work to like stay, to save it? I think equity of Tesla is going up. Like, what is equity of Tesla? Being an owner of Tesla, I own the rights to this battery technology, this solar roof technology, this electric vehicle technology that is just about to totally change the world and disrupt so many different industries. I mean, I think the value of that technology is just like, humanity needs to go to renewable energy. We need to go to batteries. We need to electric cars. There's one company who has all the technology to do it. I mean, this is a hell of an asset to own. And you think about data is the new oil. What are we going to value Tesla's billions of miles of driving data at? I mean, if Tesla is able to release their full self-driving seat, let's get crazy for a second. If Tesla can hit, first $100 trillion company, I love it. So if Tesla can achieve a robo taxi, like I was thinking about this yesterday, if they literally have the Tesla network, like Uber, but robo taxi with no driver, and you can get your car, I mean, this is going to change humanity forever. This is going to be such an exciting moment of just making it so much more efficient and cleaner to get around cities. And I think it's going to capture market share so quickly. We're going to see Tesla scale to billions of dollars in ride-sharing revenue just overnight. I mean, this is why Elon said $100,000 step change in the asset value for millions of cars at once. I don't even want to crunch the numbers on that. We're talking about billions of dollars of value being unlocked over a software update. We've never seen anything like this. How is Wall Street, its spreadsheet mentality, going to wrap their head around the greatest AI software update that creates tens of billions of dollars of value overnight? And Wall Street just cannot handle this. And so I can't even handle it. I don't even, it's hard to fathom. But I was thinking about this more. This is what I'm about to drop. Like, if Tesla can execute even on 2 continents, a massively successful mass market autonomous ride-hailing service, this could be the world's largest company. I think $1 trillion is in the bag if they do the robo-taxi. $1 trillion could be in the bag with just batteries and, solar panels and electric vehicles, and batteries for grid without autonomy potentially. But UN autonomy, this is like a free lottery ticket that you get for Tesla when you buy this equity. I mean, this is awesome. And I saw a thing, drive to a party and nobody has to stay sober to drive. I mean, this is, like, is this not a public health issue? 350 people dying a day from traffic incidents? And Tesla is putting in all its resources. Not only are they saving all of our pollution and health from cleaning up the air, but they're also cleaning up the streets. I mean, this is a really sad thing that, we just accept, is that driving and traffic is extremely dangerous. And so Tesla's on the cusp of making that safer, which is a huge public health benefit. Think about the healthcare costs, hospital costs that all get reduced because of this. Think about the tragedies for families having to go through if someone gets injured in a car accident. Like, that will be greatly reduced. I mean, these are like, dude, this is like epic. This is so good for the world. And that's why I got so frustrated, on Yahoo yesterday and on CNBC. It's like, oh, the stock's worth this. How much is the company worth? Like, what are we going to value it at? This is insane. I'm really angry about Elon Musk's latest tweet. It's like, who cares? Like, governments aren't doing anything. Nobody's doing anything about the climate crisis. And Tesla's actually doing something and succeeding. This is like the greatest news ever in the year. And it's just like, it feels like no one's reporting on it. I think the headline of every single newspaper should be Tesla reports 4 profits in a row. Will change the world. We are going green. Roads are getting safer. Humanity has a fucking chance at beating the climate crisis. Like, are we not pumped about that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, excuse my French, but any questions here? Thanks, Greg. Working on the internet issues. Appreciate that super chat. Starlink and SpaceX IPO. I mean, I'm trying to buy into SpaceX right now. I'm so pumped about that. The potential for a SpaceX IPO for me to buy into Starlink, man. Yeah. So I'm going to end this. And I know I've been saying this a lot about the solar roof, just how much potential that has. But I don't know. I really think every Tesla investor should think about what Chamath just said, think about what Elon just said, that this is going to be the next phase of this story is about to be energy. Tesla's going to launch this decentralized microgrid thing that will really transform the way energy in our country works. I mean, the way the grid works right now is so kind of broken and lame and inefficient, so much waste, so much pollution. Software is not optimizing it. You know, batteries are not responding to grid outages. We're using these fossil fuel peaker plants. I mean, this is just dinosaur technology. Literally, our world economy runs on dinosaur juice. I mean, to me, it's like they're gonna think back on humans like pre-2020 and be like, okay, so you guys were driving this car around that like had parts shipped in from all over the world, and then you were importing other fossil fuels from all over the world to drive it, even though you had all this energy hitting your house. Like, what were you thinking? And now it's like, oh wait, we could actually like drive our car with things all made in the US. You know, we could charge it from the sun on our house. The Cybertruck can even charge from its, you know, it has a solar panel built in. I mean, this is like, you know, I feel like it's all of humans are leveling up in a major way by the advancement of electric vehicles. And, you know, I also think, man, I feel like I'm recycling so many of my old analogies, but, you know, like more F-bombs. You know, what did Apple do to the phone? You know, this is not a phone. Like now, you know, I run my YouTube channel from this thing that I'm looking at with a screen and I'm talking to you, but it's a phone, you know, but this is not something a phone would do. So that's what the Tesla's going to be, you know. I love the commentary on the conference call about the App Store. They basically confirm the App Store, and they're like, well, so when the car is autonomous, you know, what are you going to do? Productivity and entertainment, gaming. And so, you know, and that's just to me, that's like table stakes. The real thing is, you know, how does this change society? Can this fix traffic? Can anybody get anywhere for way cheaper? Like, you know, Uber, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Amazon even. Like, how many companies that I just named? YouTube, you know, Twitch, that just built billions and billions, probably LinkedIn, that probably built $1 trillion of market capitalization on this iPhone because the software ate the phone. Well, software is eating the car. And how many billions, trillions of dollars of market capitalization will get built by companies that are building applications for autonomous vehicles? You know, Tesla is about to have the most valuable platform in the world, this autonomous vehicle network. So the ways to monetize that are, it's hard to even fathom, but, you know, I can't even scratch the surface on it. But this is the free lottery ticket of Tesla stock. And I think that billions of miles of data should already be worth a ton. You know, who else is close to them? Nobody else is competing with Tesla. It's crazy. So I personally think Tesla will rapidly compound its revenue run rate to 100 billion in the next 18 to 24 months. I think the market capitalization could compound at, you know, a decent clip over the next 24 months, maybe 500 or 600 market cap, maybe 5 to 6x times price sales. We get a little compression, but we're still getting a decent return. So that's why I'm holding. I think personally my new price target for Tesla has gone up from 1 trill to 2 trill because I've really been able to process the ambition of Elon to become the world's greatest manufacturing company. You know, they're at a $30 billion run rate right now, and it just feels like they're just getting started, like barely scratching the surface. And like, I can't think of anything I would rather put my earnings or savings into than the technology. Gally, we need to convince Elon to make an airplane. I know, I'm working on that, believe me. I'm like, yeah, it's, you know, that's what really excites me about Tesla is that $3 for the internet, thank you. But, you know, this is really a new fundamental propulsion technology that I just think is going to go like the powertrain. How much innovation is in the Tesla powertrain we don't even know about? I mean, and that is a technology that, you know, that most efficient powertrain is what they're going to need to build an electric cargo freight boat that's going to ship things across the ocean. You know, Flexport's going to need a bunch of those to move crap we buy from halfway around the world. So, you know, airplanes, I used to take airplanes all the time before, you know, Rona, because, you know, I don't know, like, you just have to. And that's, to me, really frustrating. We're burning so much fossil fuels with airplanes. Like, I'm waiting for someone to come out with that. And I think it's inevitable that the company with the best battery technology will, and that will Tesla and Elon. So that's what I'm, I think like, if I was a betting man in the year 2030, I think Tesla is getting its plane program off the ground. People are starting to fly in Tesla planes in 2030. I think that's like a 50% chance. So, oh, the Boring Company. So I do think Tesla acquiring the Boring Company is fascinating. That's something I want to work more into. Yeah. So, all right, my phone is about to die, so I think I got to run. If you squeeze in a question, I'm about to drop a epic video today too. That's sort of, I won't say too much on it. And I have a really cool moonshot that's coming on Monday, so subscribe. Really pumped about that. Also, if you're tuning in now, I will say I've been low-key, shout out to Anthony, who's working on the new Hyperchange logo, which it's been taking me way too long to rebrand the channel, but it's because I'm working on it and scheming, and I want it to be perfect, and Hyperchange is going to disrupt itself, and we're going to do a rebrand, and it's going to become, I don't want to tell you too much, but it's like this 100,000 subscriber milestone, just scratching the surface of the vision and really changing the way financial media, investing works. I think it's still broken. We still have a long way to go. And, this Tesla win, seeing the retail investor be early, seeing this validated, seeing Wall Street catch on, seeing the business model succeed, to me is really been a huge validator for myself of like, wow, like, I've always thought I was going to be able to crush Wall Street, but actually to see my portfolio do it and to see all of this validation happen is really something else. And it just makes me even more ambitious to push even more like kind of ideas like Tesla when nobody believed in it and that kind of stuff. And so yeah, hyperchain, like Ben said in the chat there, definitely in the plan. So NIO, I do want to give a talk on NIO real quick because just food for thought. Shout out to Jay Filchi, we were talking about this yesterday. China is the world's largest oil importer, booming. They do not like that. They want to be the leader in the future propulsion technology of the next 100 years. They think in 100-year cycles, they are going to go all in on electric vehicles. They need to clean up their cities. They want to be the leader of this technology. That is why they are rolling out red carpet for Tesla. And so the world's largest economy is desperate for Tesla's technology, and they are rolling out the red carpet for Tesla. This Austin factory. Okay, I hope my phone doesn't die. So the Austin factory, this is going to be their crown jewel. This is going to be a game changer. This is going to be like, literally, Giga Berlin, Giga Shanghai, Fremont, Nevada, bunk, whack. The Cybertruck Terra factory in Austin is going to change the game. I already know this is going to be Tesla's crown jewel. 2,000 acres, ecological paradise. Like, this is the future coming, is this new factory in Austin. Like, this is going to be just, it makes me so, like, that's what makes me proud to be American. Like, dope technology built in America, pushing the needle, building something exciting, doing it with the environment in mind, creating a ton of job and economic value, pushing forward technology, like hiring the smartest engineers to get them to America. Like, this is what it's about. This is what gets me excited about American future. This is why I have Hope Company is about to build its most cutting edge factory right in the heart of our country. That is so like epic, and I cannot wait to go there. I'm even scared, like, bro, I'm trying to go to Austin like now, like to go, and so, I'm just so excited about that whole, congrats to Austin and the Austin Tesla Club. I was just in Austin for the fully charged thing. It is such a cool city. Like, I loved Austin, like music, just great vibes, really good food too. So I'm like, I couldn't be more excited. I mean, Tesla, you think about, they're so valuable. Like, they're going to have factories, 2 factories in the US, 1 factory in the European continent, mega factory in China, 4 factories around the globe that are massive, pumping out huge amounts of vehicles in a year or two. I mean, of course, like, yeah, this is a global company changing the world on multiple continents. This should be worth hundreds of billions of dollars. It's just going to take a while for these financials, monetization, to fill in and backfill into this, because it takes time to monetize the technology that Tesla's developed. That's the way I want to end this. My phone's about to die. I love all of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Huge congrats to Tesla, Elon, the whole squad for just a dope quarter and making us all pumped. The world would not be hyper changing as much if it wasn't for Elon. And so, it's just like, I feel so honored to even be able to like be a Tesla shareholder, just like, tune into the earnings calls, just like so fun. Like, anyway, y'all are awesome. Have a really great Friday, Thursday night. See y'all next time. Peace.